I bet you're wondering, what in the world does he have a dryer in his greenhouse for? Well, it was a dryer that we were using inside the house and started having some problems, so we were going to get it fixed, but we just moved it in here in the greenhouse some time ago to keep it protected from rain and anything else. And you know what? It's just kind of been sitting here, so not sure exactly what we're going to do with it, but right now it's in here in the meantime. And right now we're getting the chores done, and Selah has been doing an excellent job in the morning, getting started, doing the things that she needs to do. She's really just taking things to the next level as far as taking ownership of doing what she's responsible for, and even going an extra mile in the mornings, getting her things done. And I really appreciate that. Selah, you've been doing a fantastic job.
Thank you.
And what are you doing right now, Selah?
I am feeding the chickens.
And for our feed here, we have a mixture of a number of different ingredients that we get from a local feed mill just down the road from us. And it has a lot of non-GMO ingredients, a lot of non-GMO grains. So that's what we feed them. I also add alfalfa to that just to give them some extra protein and chlorophyll that they may need. We also add oyster shells for calcium, just to help with the egg production and to help the egg shells be stronger, because the chickens and the ducks, they need calcium too. And what do we have here? Who do we have here? Micah. That's right. Good morning, Micah. How are you?
Yeah.
What are those down there, Micah? Mushrooms?
So first, I turn off the fence so I don't get shot. There we go. And don't eat the alfalfa. So next we have to get an egg basket, because I forgot the egg basket. Where we get our egg baskets is up at the wash and pack station. So let's go. Look, there's 2 ducks in one nesting box. There's a nest right here where that duck is right there.
Balancing on a weary line, too scared to trust you and jump down. I'll keep my status quo up here, won't let anybody come near. I'll fix it on my own. 29 years I've been the same, trying so hard to run from shame. But how long can I keep up the pace? To fool myself, I don't need a grave.
So I got this new tool from Forward Farm Tech, and it is a Broadfork made of all steel. So I've been using one from Treadlight Broadfork, but this is a brand new one that I got and trying out from Forward Farm Tech. The one that I have from Treadlight has the handles on the sides, and this one actually has a handle in the middle. So as I get ready to prep these beds and I go ahead and Broadfork them, I'm going to see how this Broadfork works out for me. Can't say that I could use you. Let me know when you're available.
Yeah. Dog. That's dog.
Really?
Where a dog is. Dog.
Ooh. I must say, I'm really liking this Broadfork. I like our Treadlight Broadfork too, but I'm digging it. I'm digging this Ford Farm Tech Broadfork. And for those of you who are wondering what a Broadfork is and why do you need to use a Broadfork, well, a Broadfork aerates the soil, which means it gets airflow into your soil, especially if you have any compaction going on. It really helps you to build quality soil, because roots of the plants, they need to have some aeration, some airflow in the soil, so that way they're able to spread out and do what they need to do. And yes, earthworms and bacteria and different things in the soil help with that, but having a Broadfork and using a Broadfork to build your soil helps to accelerate that process, and also helps you get some exercise in as you're building your soil. So get some good manual workout, some exercise in as you're improving your soil. So I think Selah's almost done with her chores, and she's coming over, and I think we're gonna let her try out this Broadfork just because it's shorter and I think she can use it. All right, Selah, come on over. You wanna try it out?
Yep.
So try it out, just push it in. Go here, here. This soil is kind of loose already. We're just building it even more, and then just kind of put your body weight into it, flip it over.
Okay.
Let's see if you can do it. There you go. Oh, yeah. Good job. So as you can see here, we're gradually improving the soil, and you can see the layer here. We got more of your topsoil here with your clay, and we're gradually just kind of blending the two together to create darker, richer soil. Yep. See you do it again. Yep. Yep. Don't put too much force into it where you get off balance. Try to stay stable. I do want to mention real quick that these ends are really sharp here, and if you're doing it wrong, you punch right through your boot. So you want to make sure that you're balanced, and if you're going to do it with one leg, you push it in that leg, and if you're going to do the other side, you can do that leg, or you can kind of rock it back and forth, just like that. You're doing a great job. Let's see if you can do some more. Alrighty, as Selah's going to be using the Ford Farm Tech Broadfork, I'm going to go ahead and use the Treadlight Broadfork and work alongside her. That way we can just double our efforts and knock this job out. And each Broadfork has a different setup for the handles. These handles are wide, so it's like you're getting more of a row action. And then the Ford Farm Tech has more of a T-shaped handle, which means you can kind of put your body weight a little bit more into it from that way. But like I said, I like both. It's more of a personal preference on how you feel like you're going to be stronger and able to use the tool. However, I think that for a shorter person or a person that may be not quite as strong, the Ford Farm Tech may be the way to go. So, woo! I caught up to you.
Yep.
You actually been getting some exercise in this morning.
Yep.
Before you came over here to help me Broadfork, you were doing some stuff with the dogs. You were feeding the dogs, doing your normal chores with them. And I actually saw you were running back and forth with them. Is that fun?
Yeah, it was really
You're giving them some exercise and getting your cardio exercise in too.
Yep.
So how are you liking that Broadfork?
I love it. It's really easy to use.
So now that you're able to Broadfork, I guess I need to let you Broadfork some more. What do you think about that?
I'd love that.
And people watching may not know that you're only 8 years old. I've never seen an 8-year-old Broadfork before. I must say, you must exercise caution and try to be safe because the blades are sharp. But you were doing that. You were doing a great job. So way to go. And technically she's still 8, but she's getting ready to turn 9. So you're almost a 9-year-old that can Broadfork.
Yep.
Let's let you try out the Treadlite Broadfork and see if you're able to manage that one. It's bigger, so we'll see how it goes. Let's move it up here. There we go. All right, let's try this one. Let's see if you're able to do it. So remember, the blades are sharp. See what you can do. I think the other one goes in a little bit smoother because the blades are bigger on this one. That's what I think.
This one you can just have one big push and it goes down a lot further. It's also a little heavier.
You're almost there. You almost have completed a whole 50-foot bed all by yourself, pretty much.
Yep. With 2 Broadforks.
Last one, last one. Yeah, this is a tough one. Yeah. Good job. Way to go, you did that bed. Bang. Alrighty, so I must say, I really like both Broadforks. I have been using the Treadlite Broadfork for well over a year now, maybe even 2 years. And it is an excellent tool. And I would say the Broadfork in general is one of I suggest as a must-have market garden tool, or even running a garden on a homestead. The Broadfork is a really, really excellent tool for helping you to work and improve your soil. And especially for those of you who are concerned about using fossil fuels and things like that, the Broadfork, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to use any fuel. It's all manual power, and you actually get a really good workout with that. And I like the Broadfork, the Treadlite Broadfork, from the standpoint of the handles being out wide, and I can actually get some exercise in like a row, so I don't need to go to the gym and use a machine where I'm rowing. I can actually get outside, do some Broadforking, and get a nice back workout in at the same time. But it's not so much of a workout that is so exhausting and just overbearing, but it is something that you can feel some muscles working as you're doing it. And then on the other hand, with the Forward Farm Tech Broadfork, with the way that the handles are shaped in the T, the handle is shaped in the T, it doesn't give you the opportunity to work your back in the same way. You actually get more of your abs engaged as you're using that one, because you're putting some of your body weight in to do it. And the harder soil that you have, the more of a workout you're gonna get, of course. But overall, I would say I definitely think it's a personal choice on analyzing the benefits and the features that each Broadfork has. With the Forward Farm Tech being all steel, all metal Broadfork, there's a lot more you can do with one and they last longer if they're steel. Even though this Broadfork here has wooden handles, they do have the option for steel handles as well. And I do recommend that for if you're using a Broadfork like a lot. I mean, like weekly to multiple times in a week, which we do here. Thankfully we haven't broken our handles yet, but I've known farmers who have broken theirs, and they really suggest that if you're a market gardener, you're doing like big time production, that you really need to go with getting one that is made of all steel. It's just going to last longer. Also, another benefit of the Forward Farm Tech Broadfork is you can do some side-to-side movement if you need to without having to worry about breaking the frame on it. But once again, that's just a benefit of it being all metal. And the blades on the Forward Farm Tech are smaller than the ones here on the Treadlite Broadfork. These blades, these teeth are definitely thicker, and there's benefits to each. With the let me grab real quick. So as you can see here, they both have different type of teeth on them, different tines, different blades, and the blades here are definitely thicker on the Treadlite Broadfork, but then you can see these are thinner. The benefit of these being thinner, I've noticed that they go in the soil, especially if the soil has been worked, a lot easier. These, you have to kind of wiggle it and work it in, but they do get in, and they can turn the soil very effectively. But like I said, once again, it's a personal preference. But another thing that I've noticed about this one here is that it's lighter, and Selah was able to move it around much easier, and she was able to work it. So if you're someone that's not quite as strong, you definitely may want to go with this one from Forward Farm Tech, because it's just the weight on it is just a lot lighter than this one here. See, I got a little bit more, put a little bit more exertion in on lifting that one up with one hand. So that's something to think about. It's just another little thing to consider and analyze as you're thinking about purchasing a Broadfork. And if you want to purchase either of these, I have the information for both of them in the show notes below. But Selah and I are going to get back to work and working on these beds. We actually got some stirrup hoeing to do. We're in the process of really trying to get rid of a lot of the unwanted plants, the weeds that we have in these beds out, and I've noticed that each time we continue to work on and improving these beds, that there's less and less unwanted plants in there. So we're going to go ahead and stirrup hoe, and then I'm going to go ahead and do a light tillage of what we Broadforked here, just to kind of blend it and add some amendments to it. And at the same time, I have another bed right here that Selah's going to work on Broadforking, because she's eager to get back to doing it again. Okay, next what I'm going to do is take up our irrigation, and I'll go over in another video on what type of irrigation we use here. But I should have moved it before, because actually before we did the Broadforking, I came through here with the flame weeder just to torch out a lot of the unwanted plants that had sprouted up in the process of growing our other crops. But I'm going to go ahead and pull this up so Selah and I can really go ahead and knock out a lot of these unwanted plants that are in the walkway. So we're going to stirrup hoe that. Before we get started with stirrup hoeing and moving on, I do want to mention that for safety's sakes, it's best that you have, if any tools that have sharp ends on them, that you move them out of the way from people stumbling on them, tripping on them, and getting possibly seriously injured. Try to remove them from the areas that you're moving around, put them up where they go, in the ground where someone won't get hurt, or up in the toolbox. So I'm going to go ahead and move these so no one comes by and gets injured, because that could be deadly. So what I like to do with the Broadfork is I'll either push it all the way in the hard ground where no one can get hurt, or I'll just go ahead and put it up in the toolbox out of the way. That's what we're going to do right now. Alright, Selah, if you could stirrup hoe that walkway, I'll go ahead and knock this up. Woo! Stirrup hoeing is whipping us today, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we're definitely getting our exercise this morning all around, especially Selah there.
Yep.
Well, this bed right here, there's a lot more unwanted plants growing here than we typically like. One reason is because we had collards growing here, and they're a longer term crop. So as the process of them growing and us not staying on top of the unwanted plants, aka weeds that were growing in here, they were growing up, and now that we've cropped out the collards, we have to deal with these plants coming out. So we got to get them out. So we were working on getting them out, and it was quite the workout. Also, some of the soil on these beds right here is still a little moist. We got some rain yesterday, so it really doesn't work well to stirrup hoe when the ground's wet. You kind of want it to be kind of harder, drier, but not too dry. So, and speaking of stirrup hoe is another one of tools that I really like to have on the farm. It works pretty great for just getting up unwanted plants easily. Some people also call it a scuffle hoe. So we're gonna go through, and after I've raked up here, now we're gonna go through and just shovel and put the unwanted grass in this wagon here, take it up for the chickens and ducks to enjoy. Then Selah's gonna Broadfork here, and I'm gonna go ahead and use the rototiller to blend some compost right in this bed, right back here. That Selah did a good job of stirrup hoeing. It's a 50-foot bed and it's 30 inches wide. And for those of you who think that all I use is manual tools and manual labor, nope, I'm actually going to use a rototiller. And I know some people don't like that either, but sometimes you just have to use the tool that is appropriate for your context. And with us working on improving the soil, yes, we want to ultimately till less and less, but as we're working on and building and developing the soil in a small time period, we find that the rototiller works well for us. A mini cultivator is also what it's called. Not a huge, big walk-behind tractor or tractor or anything like that, but just to lightly blend with the mini cultivator.
I'm gonna take a break while Daddy keeps working. Some of the toughest weeds we have to deal with is Bermuda grass and Carolina horse nettle. Those are really hard. Carolina horse nettle is very spiky, and Bermuda grass just has roots that just go deep, and they're really hard to deal with.
Good morning, man.
Good morning.
Can you take this up to the chickens and ducks for me? You and Micah?
Good morning.
Good morning. You see me already, but good morning again. Hey, help Josiah up the hill. See how strong you guys are. Can you help him? Look at those strong workers.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Well, at least now we have this bed ready for Selah to use the Broadfork on. If it wasn't for things like Bermuda grass, horse nettle, we would have gone a little bit faster. And if we would have had some tools, which I'm not going to recommend these tools, that were operational, like this this bow rake here, which I recommend if you're going to get a bow rake, get the ones that are forward. See, this one just snaps right off. And then the leaf rake, well,
It's just
pretty obvious what's going on there. But we got it done. You're gonna use the Broadfork. Let us know, what are some of your favorite tools that you use in your garden, around your home, outside in the lawn, or on the farm, homestead, wherever it is that you are. Oh, I almost forgot. Make sure you get your ticket today for the Homesteading Life Conference in August in Hannibal, Missouri. There's gonna be a number of great speakers there, including us, who can provide you with a lot of great information to help you in your homesteading goals and adventures. Also, our brand of the month is Mother Nature's Mountain from our friend Dr. Flower, who's a natural doctor, and she's also doing $50 consults, distance consults that can help you with some of your health goals as well.
Down the moon and give that to
Tomorrow we're heading out to Holler Homestead to see Ben and Meg. We're going to help them, as well as a few others, help them with getting a nice good start on setting up their homestead. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Well, that's it for this video. We'll see you next time, and row on.